I want to touch on 4 particular points. One point is standalone, basically, and the other 3 points tie into each other somewhat. One of the points that I want to start with is the fact that we are now in the peak of the hurricane season as a country, and up to now, we are not ready. As taking the oath as a member of parliament, one of the first meetings was the recovery, and I've been saying this from then to now, so from April 2018 to now, over a year and a half, that we need to focus on preparing for a storm. I mean, we all went through Irma, we all experienced different things. People are still going through post-traumatic stress disorder. Some people are in the same position that they were back then after the storm, and they are still in this position now when it comes to roof and so forth. So some are even worse off, given the circumstances with mold and what have you. And I was a bit taken aback on June the 1st of this year, which marks the beginning of the hurricane season, when the Prime Minister, the Minister of General Affairs, Romeo Mallin, the headline states here, reminds residents it only takes one hurricane. I mean, we all know this. So my point to the government has been, then, what are you doing to avoid us experiencing the same thing then, or even worse now? I'll give you a little example. I believe that the country is much more vulnerable now than it was back then, because a lot of people are still displaced. We still have a lot of people that are roofless and in the community, and they reach out to me as a member of parliament, and their cries are real. There was a container that was uncovered, I would say, a couple of weeks ago, where a lot of material that was donated in order to help people build back stayed in the container, and some of it is even spoiled, so it cannot be used. So my thing is, and I said it the other day at the closing of Parliament, that the government should be ashamed of themselves, because they have not done anything in order to protect their people from a storm. We were barely grazed by then Tropical Storm Dorian that passed outside of St. Martin, and on that same day, almost all the major roads were flooded, closed off, and the whole country was in haywire, basically, because of this storm. Now, imagine if this storm was a direct hit to St. Martin, what would have happened? We saw that the storm went on to kill so many in the Bahamas. They are still counting bodies to date. And I believe, as this government took office right after the hurricane and were very critical of the previous government in the actions that they took, hurricane preparedness should have been priority number one. And now I'm going to touch on the other 3 points, and they kind of tie into each other. The reason I believe that this government isn't functioning optimally is, as the Member of Parliament, now independent Member of Parliament, Maya, stated, that there's too much outside influence. And I'd like to quote the MP, "I cannot continue to be part of a government in which outside manipulation is stunning for the forward motion for St. Martin and its people." And I agree 100%. I was a member of parliament that stood up in parliament with a sign saying "country for sale." Why I say this? Because you have the constant interference of the Dutch government, in particular the State Secretary, Mr. Knops, who is basically guiding and giving directives to this government in what they should and should not execute. I'll give you one example. I'll give you 2 examples. Well, I'll give you one example that was published in April of this year. St. Martin liquidity becomes a loan. And when you go down in the article, these conditions relate to improving the detention facility at the Point Blanche prison, cutting back on salaries of members of parliament, the input of the Dutch National Police, pension reform, namely changing the pension age from 62 to 65. Now, I was very vocal on this because the changing of MP salary is a law, and the changing of the pension age is also a law. My thing has been, if you want to change the salaries, bring the law to Parliament and let us debate it as a Parliament. There's nothing called volunteer, because that does not exist in our Constitution. It does not exist in our laws. There's no volunteer law. If you want to change something, you bring the law to Parliament, you have a debate, and we debate it. Now here you have a State Secretary basically saying, in order for you to receive liquidity support as a country, you have to change your pension age from 62 to 65. So the Parliament, that's skipping government, skipping Parliament, skipping the people. Because at the end of the day, I represent the people, and my job is to bring the sentiments of the people into Parliament. And if I believe that changing the pension age from 62 to 65 is not a good idea, then I should be able to vote my conscience as a member of Parliament, of which we took the oath at the governor before starting his term. So I understand from the member of Parliament who went independent where he has clearly indicated the outside influence. It went on to say, I cannot be a part of a government that, and I thought long and hard about this. I want to tell my colleagues here in Parliament, the people of St. Martin, I cannot do this anymore. Because it is one thing to say that you have the best interests of St. Martin with your mouth, and in order to show it with your actions and not be selfish. I find myself defending things that I know in my heart I cannot defend, and I do not like this position. I agree with the member of Parliament because clearly you see some of these coalition members just going along to get along. St. Martin is in a crisis state, and we need to pick up the slack and get serious. We do not have up-to-date shelters. We took a tour in October of last year, of which I requested. It is clear we are not ready, and the government, to me, does not see these things as a priority. We have another member of the coalition, which is the other party, which is the SMCP. The member of Parliament, Peterson, stated, lack of cohesion in the Council of Ministers unacceptable. During this parliamentary year, the lack of cohesion with the Council of Ministers and the ongoing sabotage by those who are not adhere to strong principles of good governance and who are out to disrupt any clear, well-articulated policy or procedure that has been agreed upon is now evident for all to see. He is referring to the government. So here you have one of the other coalition partner clearly saying there is a problem with the way things are going in the government.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
The intention is to give all this documentation to the media so the people of St. Martin can know what we know. And the presentation was made by the Honorable Minister Johnson for whatever reasons thereof. But now the general public is informed and they know that Villanova is another game in town. But what exactly is Villanova offering? Right here is a proposal from Villanova. And I was shocked when the media said, but we haven't seen nothing. We haven't received anything. But this is the proposal from Villanova. This is it. Okay? And I just want to run through it briefly. And it says here, JPF Corporate Finance. Who is JPS? JPS is the financiers that look for all possible investors to come together So they're like a middleman in finding financiers that can remedy a situation. So the airport have been looking for financiers. So through JPF, they have found these financiers, bring them together, and they are putting the money for the airport. They are saying, synopsis of loan terms offered to Princess Juliana International Airport Operating Company NV. Purpose: 1. Pay off present 2012 bond loans. Pay it off. In the current structure as it is with the World Bank and the European Investment Bank, they are not paying off all the bond loans. Why? Because the amount of money that is needed, they are not getting. They are getting 50 million from the World Bank and 50 million from the European Investment Bank. Brings it 100 million. What the airport is looking for is over 240 million. So we go at number 2. Purpose: airport terminal reconstruction. 3. Fire and rescue facility. 4. The most important thing to St. Martin: U.S. preclearance facility construction. 5. Pay off bridge loan provided by St. Martin government. 6. Provide liquidity support facility to cover a operational cash flow shortfall during reconstruction period. So what they are saying, listen, whatever monies you have received from the government thus far for liquidity, we are going to pay that off. The bondholders' complete amount, we are going to pay that off. We are also going to put monies in for the facilities for the pre-clearance. In the other agreement from the World Bank and the European Investment Bank, pre-clearance is not a priority. And all experts, and I'm glad that Member of Parliament William Allen is here, all experts, because he can go in depth in what pre-clearance is all about, because it started when Member of Parliament William Allen was in government. So the knowledge of pre-clearance sits in his brain. But what I'm saying, all experts have said the number one island that can benefit in the diaspora from pre-clearance is St. Martin. Simply because of our geographical position, we can benefit the most and greatly from pre-clearance. The loan amount is 200 to 240 million. The payoff period, 15 to 18 years. Grace period, 2 to 3 years. Interest rate, maximum of 5% annum. Targeted closing date, very important. Commitment letter, 45, 60 days from date of signed engagement letter. Disbursement of funds to be agreed upon when consortium lenders, after commitment letters, are including the payoff of current note holders. So they are saying by November 11th of this year, St. Martin Day, the airport can receive the first drawdown to start reconstruction of the airport. And I'm saying to the people of St. Martin, it behooves me as to think what the Minister of Finance is thinking, because they came to Parliament with a doom and gloom and said, if we don't approve this budget, if this budget is not passed, and we got to remember this is going to happen to the airport, that's going to happen to the airport, they wouldn't be able to do this, they're going to go into bankruptcy, they need this money now. The budget has been approved, passed a couple of months ago. And to this day, the only thing that the airport received is 21 million in liquidity. Nothing from the World Bank. Nothing from the European Investment Bank. But the only thing they had to accept, and this is crucial and important to St. Martin, is, and I put it in quotes, the so-called CFO, who is now labeled a special advisor to the CEO and the board members from Holland. And I say this to St. Martin, when you, how should I put it? When you bend the rules to suit,
accommodate yourself,
or you accommodate, you are going down a dangerous road. You're setting a dangerous precedent. Because here we have an individual who hasn't completed the screening. And each and every one of us here can tell you the length of time and the procedures one have to go through when it comes to screening. You can't sit in office. This gentleman is privy to sensitive information. He's already partaken in meetings. They have created a position, a special position, just for him. Because he can't be the CFO now because he haven't completed the screening. But what have they done? They created a special position and they are calling him special advisor to the CFO. So the question is, when he does complete the screening, would that special advisor position still be available for someone? Of course not. Of course not. But this is when you bend the rules. And the dangerous part of it is that you hear nothing from, like we say, the Corporate Governance Council. You hear nothing from the SAID. You hear nothing from the 5 High Council of States. Even if it's an opinion, you hear absolutely nothing. And that is dangerous. It is dangerous because these things are put in place to protect, one, the integrity and the good governance of a country.
Make use of WIB mobile banking with easy access and direct usage of face recognition, PIN code, or fingerprint. Download WIB mobile banking app and make your transaction from anywhere at any time. For more information, visit wib-bank.net/quick-login.
But the enthusiasm in all these children was so extreme that we decided to, everybody went away on vacation, came back, and then we tackled the rehearsals again and preparing for the September 14, 15 events. So that's how we are here trying to put it together again for your enjoyment.
Now the rehearsals that you do, how long does it take you to actually rehearsal for a show?
The rehearsal goes into pieces because we rehearse daily at my home where I have my music school. We rehearse daily because the vocals have to be put together. So I rehearsed individually with all the different main cast, with Simba, with Nala, with Sarabi, with Mufasa, Sazu, Pumbaa, Timon, the main characters. So I train them separately, one-on-one. And that's how I perfect everybody's vocals, the harmonies and everything. And then when we have all that put together nicely, we go to the studios of Indisu and we practice the dance parts. And eventually we come and we put all of it together. So the dancers, the dance teacher will be there, Natori will be there, and she will be teaching, perfecting then the steps. And then the vocals will be done with me privately at home, one-on-one, and the acting also. So once we have all of that put together, combine it together with the dance and everything, you combine it together with the background singers, and combine it with the two choirs, because we have two choirs. We have a Dutch side choir, which is Clara Reyes Choir, St. Martin Community, and we also have Charlie Paqueur, which is the French choir. So French side, Dutch side comes together in perfect harmony, and we bring Lion King.
And now when you're keeping the show, how many people are actually involved to perform?
From what we counted the last time, we had exactly 61 in the cast, and that's including the choirs. That's not including the behind the scenes workers. Those are separate. So the lights, the sound, the engineering, the music put together, the editing of the music. So all of those are, different areas of putting together this show.
Now the show, once again, is going to be this weekend. Can you tell us where and what time does the show start?
We have decided to put 3 shows together this weekend because when we was at Port de Plaisance, we were oversold, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that didn't get to see it. I got many requests, so that's the reason why we decided this time to put it at instead of Port de Plaisance, we go to Bel Air as a different location for convenience reasons also. To put together a show like this, I need space, I need a backstage, I need room. Okay, yes, the room at Port de Plaisance is bigger than Bel Air, but backstage I need room. There's a lot of costumes that I need space to put them, which is something I didn't have at Port de Plaisance. So we decided to play it this time with Bel Air and turn things a little bit around to see how it goes. Maybe next time we do Lion King again, maybe it will be another location. But for this coming weekend, we have everything set up at Bel Air, and it's going to be Saturday and Sunday, the 14th and 15th of September. On the 14th, which is Saturday, we have a 4 p.m. matinee show, and we will repeat it again at 8 o'clock in the night for a gala event. So there's where you dress up and you come and see. Dress up in your African outfit. And then Sunday we have also the 4 p.m. matinee. We will not have a 8 p.m. gala because the next day is a school day. So we thought about the children that needs to go home and rest.
Anything else more you want to share to the public as we make a close off to this interview?
I would like to invite everyone to come and see Lion King. I've been to Broadway, New York this year to see Lion King. And from what I saw they did in New York, St. Martin is, certain parts, this production is, certain actors are better than Broadway, I must say. And if it wasn't for the special effects that we don't have in this play, we are very, very close to what Broadway does. And I'm very proud of that. And I want the public of St. Martin to come, neighboring islands, come, because you're gonna enjoy this one. Guarantee you're gonna enjoy it. And I just hope that there's seats for everyone, because I want everybody to see this.
Has been for a long while now. For the first time, many have experienced good grade, quality produce here on the island, and for affordable price. notwithstanding the fact that we had a little setback with the weather, which we internally consider as a blessing from God, you know, the turnout was tremendous, the reaction, you know, and people has also added to the fair by giving us more and more idea how to better organize it or to other product that they're looking forward to. So all in all, we consider it to be a success, not only for the organization, but for our members, for the general public, for the consumers, because we know that, and you could look at the shock in their faces when they ask you how much for the mango, and $1 is what? You know, that face, that reaction, and the avocado and the lime, you know, etc. We have learned a lot also as organizers about, we're learning every day about the fruit themselves. Some are coming there and telling us, giving us instruction how to truly handle it or cut it, why, you know, etc. So it's funny, you know, interacting with customers who do have farming knowledge, etc., and they're sharing that with us. We want to also thank those volunteers that saw, those that were with us in the beginning and those that also rolled up their sleeves and step up and started to help us, you know, from offloading the containers right down to dispatching and distributing to customers and so and etc. So kudos to all those volunteers, and they will also be informed of all of the names of the volunteers we don't have, because some of them just helped just like that and then after they left. But as many as possible, we will try to inform them and try to thank them in person for their contribution towards this fair. In general, we're looking forward to the next container coming. It's going to be an increase in terms of based on their input in requesting that additional products that in which we also notice that is needed, and we are working alongside their idea together with this experience for the next container, which should be arriving within short. That will be announced also in the coming days or the next press conference.